What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Clickbait. So happy to be here. Like usual, Bachelor Nation breakdown. We're going to recap the 2 episodes you saw this week, and we're going to do Clickbait of the week, which is Natasha's thing. I don't know why I feel the need to say that every time. And our very special guest, Jacob from the show. You may know him as the Tarzan guy. He's the man that walked down to the beach with just a leaf. He can't wait to... You know what? Honestly, Jacob's bringing a lot of the entertainment. He really is.
For sure.
He's doing the most, in my opinion. One of the few people doing the most. So I'm excited to talk to him. How was everybody's weekend or week so far?
What day is it? No,
Wednesday.
Still pregnant.
How's the baby doing, Tia?
He's kicking right now.
Oh, yay. He said it's clickbait time. Hi.
I know. He's
saying hi to us. Hello.
What are you? So you're 7 months now, correct?
Well, I'm 30 weeks. Yeah, it's like 7.5 months.
7.5 months. Wow.
We think he's going to be early.
Oh, for sure.
I will say
boy.
you are still glowing. From here up, what we see, no one would know you were pregnant. You know, sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's the filter, the blurring thing I have on my Zoom, but thank you.
No, that's not true, honey. That's not true, honey. It's not the blur. The blur can't make your face snatched, honey. It
That's
can't.
sweet.
I mean, you look great. And you look like a comfortable person. Are you comfortable?
No, I'm so
Like-
uncomfortable. Is
Like
the
a
problem.
comfortable pregnant person. Like some people really are just like
Oh,
fantastic
Yeah.
at being pregnant.
No, I'm glad
No.
I can deceive you so well. My freaking ribs hurt on both sides, my back. This dude
Are you
is like
doing,
up high.
Are you going? I always see like pregnant women at the gym. Are you going to the gym at all?
No.
That's
I
interesting.
was.
Though.
I was
never see
training
pregnant
for a
women at
little
the gym.
bit, like personal training, but then it was like, I'm paying for this training and I can't even freaking breathe
Yeah.
to go walk. So between like house stuff and just going on walks, that's plenty.
Yeah,
Going up
yeah.
and down the stairs here.
I shouldn't say I always see pregnant women at the gym. I was just at the gym today, and there was a pregnant
And there was
woman there.
one pregnant lady.
Yeah. What are all these pregnant women doing here? But, I don't know, like they walk.
It's good to do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
like
good to
walk
do
the
that.
stairs and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go to the
so,
chiropractor, not the gym. So
Yeah, that's good. I am back in New York. I'm home. That feels good. Europe was amazing. I wanted to stay there, but I came home. Joe, isn't Serena's birthday coming up?
Yeah, October 25th.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
Scorpio. She is Scorpio. She's
Yeah.
Scorpio. What are
I
you
got
gonna
her a
do for your-
gift.
did
I
you
got
get
her a
her
gift.
a bag last year or was that Christmas?
That was Christmas. I got her shoes, though. I got her shoes. I got her Valentino
Ooh.
shoes for her birthday last year.
Wait, does she know?
No, last year. Last year.
Oh.
Last year.
Oh.
So you got her shoes this year too.
No, I did not. No, I'm
Oh,
not gonna tell.
no.
I'm not gonna say what I got her.
That's what I thought you were telling. I'm like, wait, she's going to hear.
No. Her,
Well, I'm sure it's a great gift. Seems like
Yeah.
you're good at gift giving.
I think so.
Would you say that's her love language? What's Serena's love language?
Honestly, I don't pay attention to any of that nonsense.
Well, you do you like to give gifts? Is that how you show
Yeah,
love?
I much rather give a gift than receive one.
Yeah, me too.
Personally.
Yeah, we know that's not your love language.
Yeah, I don't like.
would say-
I always the most awkward I've ever felt in life or ever feel in life is when I have to like open up a present. I'm just like, oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
imagine baby showers and
oh yeah.
wedding
what-
showers.
Well, I mean, I guess we gotta get into the breakdown, baby.
Speaking
Yeah.
of,
Speaking of,
Bachelor Nation breakdown this week. Yeah, it's always awkward as hell to open gifts in front of people, but we're talking about my baby showers that I had in Arkansas. So I originally didn't even want baby showers. I was like, oh no, whatever.
You have
We'll figure
to.
it out. We'll get the stuff. Southern women don't let you not have a shower, so I did one with family, essentially like my mom's friends and
Yeah.
her family. And they make you sit and open gifts in front of everyone and pass everything around. Everyone has to touch it.
Wait, are these gifts are real quick? Are these gifts for like you or for the baby?
For the
Sometimes.
baby.
Okay.
Mostly. So there
Okay.
was some stuff that was for me, but it's like the not fun stuff, like the Perry-Care bottle that you have to spray up your hoo-ha because you can't wipe after you have a
Your
Right.
hoo-ha. I've never
Right.
heard that.
Yeah,
Right.
moms get very little. It's mostly for the baby, but they were both very sweet. So I had one.
Serena, get me some of the hoo-ha spray.
I don't think you can use the hookah spray.
Hoo-ha.
You can.
I mean, if you're burning, I guess you could use it. But that was in the one in Wiener. Yeah, it actually was a good get. I mean, you need that stuff. And like nipple butter, weird stuff like that. And then I had a shower in Little Rock, and Raven got to come to that one. It was really sweet.
Yeah.
A bunch of my friends I hadn't seen in a long time, so that part was good. And then we brought the stuff home, and it's in baby's room, and just have to get to that nesting stage and organize it all. But yeah, they're both very nice.
Are you excited?
I'm glad I did it.
You know, once you push aside all the pain and the uncomfortableness, are you getting to the point where you're like, I'm really excited?
Yeah, so excited.
Yeah.
And because it's going to be Christmas, like I mean, I feel for the kid having a birthday so close to Christmas, but the fact that I'm going to just get to sit at home and like stare at my kid and my Christmas tree, and it's just going to be decorated and vibey, and I'm excited for that part.
That is
Really am.
nice.
Also, question for you. Now, having a baby shower, I think for the first baby, like it's kind of mandatory. You kind of have to do it because you do get all those little things as a first mom, like the nipple butter, like the hoo-ha spray.
Gripe water or like
Yeah,
gas
like-
drops. Stuff
just
that
like-
you wouldn't know. Yeah.
Right, that you wouldn't know that other moms bring, which is like
Taylor,
so great.
not to cut you off, does Taylor go to the baby showers, or does he have
Well, he did just because he was with me anyway. Like he drove me because sitting in the car is so uncomfortable. So he had to drive, and I like laid back. Normally, no, men don't go. It's just the girls. He watched football on the one on Sunday.
Nice.
Right. But my question is, and this is like I think like a debate that people have. You know when people have baby showers for like every baby? Like is it really it's supposed to be for the first
It's
baby?
supposed to be a sprinkle. You can do a sprinkle for the second.
What's a sprinkle?
It's like not a full shower, just a sprinkle.
Like a party?
Or where you're probably not getting like big furniture and stuff. Maybe like cute clothes and like a celebration of here's our second kid. Or maybe if it's like a boy for the first one and a girl for the second one, maybe like clothes and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
But not like a bassinet or, some of the bigger stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, honey, you got 3 damn kids. I'm coming to another one. Wait, hold on, what?
Yeah.
Let's wait until they come out. We can hang out after.
I know. It's like, come on. Yeah, so that is, I feel the same way about like 3rd and 4th marriages. Girl, what?
Oh, yeah. No more.
No, I'm just kidding.
No more.
I'm kidding. All right.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, well, I'm glad everything went well. I'm glad you got all the things. And
Thank you.
What are you most excited about besides getting this baby out? What are you most excited about being a new mom?
I try to think like in like the shortest timeline possible. If I think about him being like 5 years old or like 15 years old, I'll cry. But I'm just really excited for the newborn phase.
I think
just like
that's
to
the right. I
smell
think
him
that's the
and
right
to
way
see
to
him.
think about it. Yeah.
I just want to know what he looks like. I just want to see his little face.
Yes.
And just figure all that out. Because if I think about like preschools and graduation and shit like that, I'm overwhelmed. So I have to think
in
in very short time frames.
That makes sense.
I can't wait to see your face too.
I know, I'm so excited. He's going to be freaking 18 pounds. He's going to walk out. All right, moving on. Enough about pushing children out. Leslie Murphy married her fiance, never knew his name, Alex Kavanaugh in Hawaii. And it looked beautiful. And they live in Arkansas, by the way. Leslie's an Arkansas girl.
Oh,
Her
yeah?
family, her family is still in Little Rock, but I feel like they got engaged before COVID in 2020, and they've been like waiting.
Well, they
to
have a
have
kid
this
too,
wedding.
right?
Yeah, they have a little
They have a
girl.
kid.
And the videos, did y'all see the video of Leslie walking down the aisle holding her little girl? Was
No.
so precious. I wonder if she was supposed to be like the flower girl, and she was like, no. I want you to hold me, because Leslie's dad was with her too, but her holding her little girl was so precious, walking down the aisle. But they they wanted a wedding in somewhere else. Like they had a destination wedding planned and they ended up just doing Hawaii, which of course was still stunning. But
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, Hawaii's
oh yeah, but
like
they
a
wanted to
destination
go.
wedding.
I can't remember. They wanted to like hike up this mountain. I'll have to look because she's like a legit like travel blogger.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she goes to these incredible places, but I think she ended up having a photo shoot there, but not the full wedding. But
I will be doing zero hiking for our
yeah,
wedding.
no,
Like,
no,
I would not want to put on a tux, hike up a mountain, and get married.
absolutely not. And she like hiked up this mountain and then put a dress on just to take photos.
Yeah, no, none of that. No,
No.
thank you. But
No.
happy for Leslie. She was on Bachelor. She was
Sean
on The
Lowe.
Bachelor.
Sean
Sean
Lowe's,
Lowe
right?
season. Did she do Paradise? I know she was on Winter
Yes.
Games. I know that.
Oh,
She did do Paradise.
oh, maybe she didn't. Maybe
I
it
don't know
was,
if she
it was
did-
Winter Games. Maybe
She
it was
did.
Winter Games.
She did Winter Games.
'Cause where did
She
With
was
Dean.
with she was with Dean. I forgot that she was with Dean.
Also, fun
Winter-
fact that I heard from Chicks in the Office, because Ashley and Jared were just on Chicks in the Office. Did you guys know Jared did Bachelor in Paradise Australia at one point?
No.
Yeah.
When?
No.
I think 2018.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. It
Oh,
was like-
so he was on U.S. and then he did Australia.
yeah.
I feel like there's like every
He was
once in
on
a
it
while
twice.
there's one that goes and
Yeah.
does that.
I don't know if obviously not now, but if they would ever, I guess it's tempting to do the Australia one because you get to go to Australia. It's probably
Well, yeah,
beautiful.
I think Caroline did that one. Caroline Lunny.
Yeah. Yeah, she
Oh,
did.
she did?
And
She
she
did, and
yeah,
so
she said
did,
it was beautiful.
So did the guy
Alex
that's on the
Gordy,
new season.
He's
Yeah.
been on 18 seasons
Here's
of
my
this
prob-
show all over the world.
Here's my issue with doing that though. Like, what if you like really fall in love and it's like, so who's moving across the world?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one thing living, in different states. Australia to the United States, it's a 23-hour plane flight.
Right.
Yeah, and completely different time. Like it's the
Yeah.
The opposite end. Yeah.
Ooh. So yeah, so
world.
that's a little but listen, we saw one of the Australian guys this season.
Oh, yeah. There's some Australian people here doing our
Yeah.
Paradise.
Well, we'll talk about that. We could have just brought it up because the third,
Oh, yeah.
the third breakdown is
So-
the one and only.
Ashley and Jared have been reacting to criticism of all their screen time on Bachelor in Paradise,
Yeah.
which we did kind of bring it up. I don't remember if it was last week or the week before. We were like, man, we didn't realize they were going to be here for so long. Normally, if past cast comes, they like host a date, and Ashley and
Yeah.
Jared stayed for the whole week. But I mean,
Well, I mean, I knew they were. They're going to get hate for
Mm-hmm.
getting a lot of screen time, which really isn't like. It's not like they're like, give us screen time.
Right.
There's still 9 episodes left.
oh yeah, this still airs twice a week for the next
Yeah.
month.
So like, in 2 weeks, people are going to forget. After the next 4 episodes, people are going to forget that Jared and Ashley were even there getting
Right.
screen time.
And it was
So,
good comedic relief, whatever. People complain that it's just the same old same and they need to switch it up. Well, then they switch it up and people are like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not
Get them
that
off
way.
my screen. Yeah,
Well-
not that way.
Well, so I think I really do think that they should, like, it's not, of course, Ashley and Jared's fault, the way that they aired it, but I think also people just don't like to be surprised, and I don't think that it was set up that they were going to stay until that next episode. And people are like, wait, they're still here?
Well,
Like,
and when
Yeah.
they got the date, too, I'm sure
yeah, and also,
people were like, oh, I wish we could have had that day instead.
can we talk about a double date? I was like, come on, there's so many missed opportunities here, guys. What about a double date? Why couldn't they go on a double date? I would have loved to see that.
Oh,
Why does it
yeah.
always have to be a double date drama? You know?
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't send them on a double date.
Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been so cute.
Yeah.
It's like,
How do you guys feel about? I guess this is just gonna push us right into the recap. But how do you guys feel about the new format?
Oh, it's messy.
But as a
It's messy.
viewer, let's go 2 parts. If you were there, how would you feel? And as a viewer, how do you feel?
If I was there, I'd lose my shit just like they did. And as a viewer, it's messy as hell.
Yeah.
Because you could not have planned it better for Shanae and Logan to be on a date with other people at the same exact time. And then, this person in this relationship is like, I will not dare talk to anyone else. And then the other person in the relationship's getting humped in the hot tub.
I love it. And I think I love it. And I think it makes it easier for people to go on a date with somebody else when the person that you're talking to is not there.
Like Rodney.
And
Eliza.
Like Jacob.
Rodney and Eliza had a great time too and a great connection. And they come back all happy, holding hands. And then, because you're thinking like, oh, Rodney's like, oh, out of sight, out of mind. She's not here. She doesn't have to see this. Damn. And then she did. Lace.
Yeah.
Talk about Lace, by the way.
I feel really, really, really bad for Lace.
Oh, yeah, no.
I feel so bad for her.
Because in that moment, you're just thinking about being upset and knowing that your man is gone. And those guys were just like, well, how are our girls? Lace is like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but it was
your girl.
Well, that's the part that I feel sorry about. I mean, listen, the show, you go on a date, you're supposed to go on other dates. I get it, whatever. Not that part. It's when she came downstairs and it was almost like they've moved in. You're an outsider now. Like, it was kind of like how they treated her almost like she was an outsider. And I do think that, his boys weren't going to be like, he's moved on, girl, blah, blah, blah. 100%. It's like, he's going to have that conversation. I think one of the guys said that, Andrew or someone said, like, you're going to have that conversation
Yeah,
with him.
he's about to be back. You can talk to him. Yeah.
Yeah, but their body language even was like Brandon kept looking at her like,
but
so,
it was
so serene.
Right.
It was also, it's also on the couples that were couples to have that conversation before they left. Like Rodney and Lace, we don't know if they had it or not, but should have said like, hey, like.
No, they didn't. She said that he didn't even say bye.
Yeah, well, that right there is a sign. Yeah. Also, like, it shows the women. So the guys get all excited and they're going on dates and they're super happy. Most of them, except for Brandon and Aaron, which, good for Aaron. They seem to be like, we're going to wait. But all the other guys are super excited. They want to go out with the other girls. But then you see the girls, and besides Shanae and maybe Brittany Galvin, everyone's like, I don't want anything to do with these new guys.
Oh, yeah. Poor Rick and Olu in the pool.
In the way beginning. Yeah, but also, like, Olu being like, come get on my shoulders.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come play chicken with your full makeup on.
Also, I think the women's mentality would have changed, would be different if it was Tyler Cameron that got dropped, they would all be talking to him or trying. Right or wrong.
I feel like they're all fighting. They're all going to be fighting over Tyler.
But it also seems like I would say, well, Brandon and Serene are by far the strongest couple. And neither of them seem to be wishy-washy. And
no.
Aaron and Genevieve are probably the second strongest couple. And neither of them are really wishy-washy. So, like,
but
Jill,
Genevieve was super happy.
Yeah, but she's also like the next day you see her.
I think it was more like a revenge thing. Like, oh, you get new people, so do we. I can see Aaron going on a date before Genevieve would.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, because I agree with Natasha.
I don't think Aaron is like just from being
Aaron
there
learned
and talking,
his lesson
if he was
in the first
asked,
season.
If he was asked to go on one, you don't think he would if he felt bad for the person? Oh, well, he did turn someone down last year.
He turned somebody down last year too.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
This is
I
true.
think Aaron is such a one-person, and that's why he was so hurt by what happened last year. He definitely, I don't think so. But Genevieve, we've seen Genevieve. She went on a date with Justin, or she was with Justin, and she went on a date with Aaron. I think Genevieve would have probably too. But it just seems like the initial reaction of like, oh gosh, there's new guys here, yay. And then it was like, no, but actually I want to be with my person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then what do you guys think about Jill? Because Jill is like, it seems like she's not even willing to talk to anyone. She's crying a lot. And I don't think that at least from what we're seeing and knowing the timeline, that her relationship with Jacob is that fucking strong.
Did she even try to talk to anyone?
No, all she's doing is she's literally.
Well, because she even said they were hot. Some of them were hot too, and I'm like,
I mean,
Yeah.
they're all good looking. Like, let's be honest, they're all good looking. But I think the time that they've already, what was it in Paradise World? What, 2 weeks now that because they've had 2 rose ceremonies? It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, but Jacob and Jill just like literally.
I know they just started.
talking.
They just started. Yeah.
And there's no way Jill, like, I mean, just.
I think she's
Jill has to
grasping
know
at
that.
though, because she had like such an up and down with Romeo, so she's like grasping onto this thing she has with Jacob, even though it's not that strong.
Yeah, but the whole Romeo situation, honestly, that whole threesome of people and that situation, and Jill was on this podcast last week talking about it. You know, it's hard to really feel bad for any of them because it's like you guys like.
It doesn't make sense. There's still something that doesn't make sense.
Oh, something's missing. There's a key piece of that missing.
Yeah, for sure. But I just think that also sometimes the absence makes the heart grow fonder. So maybe Jill was like, wait, because if there was a guy there that she liked or that she potentially liked more than Jacob, you know.
Well, how does she know? I mean, we're not there. It really looked like it seemed like they were all having fun the night of, and then the next day you see Alex, you see the Australian, you see Olu and Rick are basically
they just weren't into it.
Bored.
Yeah.
They weren't into it. They were not into it. I don't know what happened, what we didn't see. You know, I don't know, but it was not into it.
Maybe at that point the girls were just tired. They were like, we're sick of this shit. Jill was already like pre-spiral. I mean, it wasn't going to take much for her to.
Yeah, they're putting like this
nice ass hotel,
nice hotel with an awesome pool. Like,
right?
Chill. I don't know.
Okay, what else happened? That was crazy.
Well, I think the biggest thing.
Michael
Andrew
A.
and Teddy. Oh, Michael A. Oh, and Danielle didn't have to leave. She basically got there and was like, I get to stay.
They were on their date.
Yeah,
right?
I forgot they were on their date.
Also, Michael coming back and being like, who are these people? That was so funny. I thought that was hilarious.
Oh, I know. They walked in and said hi, and Danielle's like, hi, everyone. And I'm like, do you remember any of those people? Because they're all new.
They're all different. Yeah, the whole Michael A. What'd you guys think about that?
So the episode started with him being worried about being sent home, right? Because there was a lot of guys that were gonna go home, but Casey did Casey leave?
Yeah,
Casey left because
Romeo
passed
was
out
on.
Casey passed out from the drama.
From starting drama himself. What the fuck?
It's hot out there, guys. It's hot out there. You gotta hydrate.
It is. It really is. But he was over there not breathing because he knew he started some shit with Peter. But it didn't like the list of or the amount of guys that were gonna have to go home got less and less.
Yeah.
And then Michael thought he was going to go home. And I be damned if Danielle didn't walk down like Cinderella herself.
Yeah.
To save the day.
I know we got to move on to the clickbait. So, my thoughts on Michael A. and Daniela. Danielle, not Daniela. Yeah, I don't know.
I think
I don't
they're
know.
cute. It's
because I don't know where I don't know. Like, it's very hard to get a grasp on where Michael A. is.
Have you guys ever
With
heard
his
of the term?
feelings, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not a psychiatrist, but you guys have you heard of the term trauma bonding? He lost someone, she lost someone. I think it's a safe space. I think there's a lot of comparison between Danielle and Sierra and blah 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 and da da da. But the truth is, Sierra never went through losing a spouse and or boyfriend or fiance like the two of them did, and it can't be easy, of course, to date, as we've heard and as we can imagine, I guess. But I feel like their relationship is like rooted in the fact that they both had a similar, very tragic situation happen between the two of them, and that's where the comfort comes from. And it happens a lot with couples. They find each other. You went through this, I went through this, and it's a trauma bond, and it's not necessarily healthy.
Yeah, it sounds. The
But
word
sometimes
trauma.
it can. Well, the trauma is what happened between the two of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or not between the two of them, but to them. So that's what I'm seeing between these two people, you know, and that's something that no one else on that beach can give him.
Yeah.
Because they haven't went through it. So,
Yeah.
But I will say, justice for my girl Sierra, because y'all know I loved her.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong actually with that. I think
Yeah,
that makes
so much
a lot of
sense.
sense. All right. Should we do the clickbait of the week?
Yes, booze. Let's do the clickbait real quick because honestly, there's not much to talk about. I have like a few questions for you guys regarding this clickbait. So, clickbait this week: matching with celebrities on a dating app is awkward as hell. Is what we're talking about. Now, this article goes back and forth, back and forth. The main things on this article that's interesting is matching with someone who's like verified, who doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, the Ben Afflecks of the world, because I think that happened and that came out like screenshots of him talking to somebody on Raya. Doesn't necessarily have to be someone as an A-lister like a Ben Affleck, but it could be just someone who is verified,
A micro celebrity like us.
a micro celebrity,
Someone from
just
Bachelor.
someone from Bachelor, a reality show, XYZ, blah blah blah. My questions for the two of you, we got to bring you back to your single lives. When you met people out, did you prefer that they let you know, like, oh, you're Joe from The Bachelor, you're Tia from The Bachelor, like, you know, or did you prefer them not to say those things? Did it make it awkward when they did? Joe, you go first.
If somebody recognized, if I was talking to a girl
At a bar.
and she recognized me or knew that I was on the television show The Bachelorette, I would prefer if she at least acknowledged that, opposed to pretending like she doesn't, because then we're just kind of, that's just like weird. It's like, you know, but like I don't want her to, like, I don't think she needs to do anything else except just like acknowledge it if she knows, and if she doesn't, great, even better.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tia, what about you?
I feel like it's different with guys and girls. I feel like because more girls watch the show, so they would be more likely to recognize Joe or a guy. Most guys have no idea, because I was on dating apps and had, you know, a check mark on Instagram, and those people could very easily go see that, and they genuinely did not know who I was. I appreciate when people just don't, because then they don't know to like look you up. But yeah, I would rather someone disclose it and not be freaking weird. Pretend they don't know me and be like, oh, how's Marlo at home?
Right. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that'd be weird.
Okay, second question. When you would meet someone and you were single, would you be weird about sharing your Instagram because you're verified, you have a lot of followers, post being on the show? Would you be weird about that? Like, oh, not yet? Or would you do it right away? Joe, you go first.
I'd show it off.
Okay, you
Thank
show it
me.
off?
Look how many followers I have. No,
Look at my worth right
Like,
here.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I mean, listen, if it, like, yeah, like if you're a, you know, kind of douchey and like bragging about those things, then it's lame. But like, I don't know. I feel like I was always.
You didn't hide it.
I tried to always be an open book. Yeah, like I don't care. Like, yeah, okay, here.
Tia,
It made me sweat. Or like
What?
it made me sweat to like have to show people like, oh, let's exchange Instagrams or follow me on Instagram, you know, whatever, like out in a situation, or if you're like drunk at a bar, even like, just talking to like a drunk girl in the bathroom, they're like, oh, what's your Instagram? I'll follow you. And they're like, oh, I'm like, my armpit starts sweating. I'm like, yeah, it's nothing.
Right, exactly. So I would agree with you. So I've had this conversation. I can't remember who it was with. I really can't in Bachelor World, but I've had this conversation with a guy in Bachelor World, and we were talking about girls knowing who they are and how like they like it. And whereas for women, I think we are kind of more, no, there's guys who'll be like, what's your Instagram? And if I like actually like them, I won't give them my Instagram right away because I feel like certain guys get intimidated, and maybe certain girls do too, but guys get intimidated by seeing a girl who has a large following, whereas I think when girls see a guy who's like flourishing, they'll be like, oh yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that makes them be like, oh yeah, right? It's like that mentality. So
It is different seems.
So the getting back to the clickbait, the article talks about how to deal with dating these types of people. Should you tell them right away that you know them? Should you not? Blah 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 blah. So the article says you should be upfront. Tia, Joe, myself, we agree. Be upfront if you recognize the person, you know who they are, actor, actress, whatever, celebrity, whatever, Bravo, celebrity, whatever. And then the other thing is, if you are going to be a person like us, right? Because they also flip it and say, if you're a person who's out in the dating world, like for me, I'm still single. What do you do? How do you deal with basically letting someone know? My approach, and this is just my personal approach, I try to prolong giving someone my full identity as long as possible, if that makes sense.
Well, you want them to get to know you. Exactly.
And
that's
personal
the thing you and not this idea.
Exactly. And I'm going to read what the article says. It says, so the answer is simple. If you're going to date a potential VIP love interest, remember, because you know their work, just because you know their work, that doesn't mean you know anything about them specifically. Also, a public person doesn't mean that everything that they put out publicly is who they are.
I love that part.
Yes, that is like the essence of it, because people see someone and they're like, oh my God, like, you're Brad Pitt.
About you.
Yeah, you're Brad Pitt. It's like, actually, you don't know. You know what I mean? He could like be awful, even though we hope not, but he could be awful, you know?
And it said too, if you're at the point where you feel like you're going to fangirl, you probably don't need to
talk to that person. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It could freak him out.
I've been with single Joe when he was out. Oh my God, girls, who is that Joe?
Aren't those dating apps that like whatever, so like Raya, that like celebrities are on? Don't you like? Doesn't everybody like have to get approved or have like a certain amount of followers to be on those apps anyways?
It's not a certain amount of followers. So I'm on Raya. I've been on Raya since I worked at HBO, and I had 500 followers.
So what is it like in the you have to be in like the entertainment industry?
Yep.
Okay.
With the entertainment industry, there's lots of models on there as well too. But yeah, entertainment industry is the most is what it is, because the idea, there's no location with Raya. So the idea is that I could be anywhere. I match with someone in London and I could potentially date that person because I'm in the entertainment industry and I'm not attached, if that makes sense. So
like a 9 to 5 job. Kind of like the same deal as like, if you want to be a member at Soho House, you can't be a lawyer. You got to be a fucking thespian. Okay.
Right.
So
yeah,
let's, I would say, well, our guest, if he ends up single, I think he'll probably be on Raya. And I think it's time to bring on Jacob to the podcast. All right, Jacob, what's up? How are you? Welcome to the podcast.
Joe, Tia, Natasha, how you guys doing?
Really
good.
How are you?
We're glad to have you.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
You're bringing a lot of entertainment this year, and we as viewers really appreciate it. You got a Canadian flag. Are you Canadian?
No, it's my roommate's. So
okay.
He's Canadian.
Okay. Where do you live? You're West Coast?
Yeah, well, I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. So
okay.
I like Scottsdale.
Yeah, beautiful little spot.
Oh, so it's like cool enough to wear long sleeves there right now.
It is. I'm just trying to, copy you guys
Change
with
your
the
image.
false flag. Yeah.
Nice.
Trying to wear some clothes,
It's still 85 degrees outside. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
That feels good there, though.
And you're, Jacob, you're in real estate, correct? Isn't that what I remember?
Yeah. So, Joe. So I was in real estate. I was a mortgage broker up until about, as you guys know, and if anybody knows about the mortgage interest rates, things have really kind of gone up. Yep. And so it was a good time for me to get out of that space. No longer in that. And to be perfectly honest, it's funny because everybody looks at someone who's on these shows like, oh, they must be doing everything and doing all this crazy stuff. Well, I'm really just driving for a rideshare company, trying to figure my way out. Ultimate goal is to try to become a multifamily investor. And so I'm looking at different companies to see if I can kind of, underwrite for somebody. And so if anybody's hiring out there that's watching the podcast.
There you go.
Heck yeah.
Nice. All right, so let's
Wait.
talk.
Wait, you said
Go
a
ahead.
rideshare company. Do you ever pick anyone up and they're like, "Hey"?
Oh my God. I last night I picked up a girl and she was like, "Hey, my mom says you look like the guy from The Bachelorette and The Bachelor in Paradise." And I'm like, "Oh, really? What's that?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to handle it.
It's
Like,
about
"Well,
every
not me."
it's crazy because I bet you all three do too. It's weird. It's never happened in my life and now it's all of a sudden it's like every day it's somebody else. So
You don't really get used to it either. I still sweat when people
Yeah,
recognize
you're
me.
gonna have to honestly. You're probably gonna have to stop doing that job because you're gonna start really getting recognized with everyone you pick up,
It's
or a lot of people.
and you're absolutely right. I was at the bar the other night and I was just like, holy cow, it's like every Tuesday I can't even have a conversation with my friends. And
Yeah.
but hey, look, I'm taking it taking it all,
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right, so let's talk about. Okay, so you left Gabby season. You got, let's say, probably like a decent amount of haters because of what you said to Gabby.
Sure.
You know, and I'm sure you made peace with that or whatnot. We don't really have to get into that, but you know, after that, what made you decide to come to Paradise?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. You know, after leaving that show on the bad terms that I left, and I hate leaving on bad notes. I don't like to. If I have an argument with someone, I really like to break. I like to come back and like make amends. In that particular case, you don't think about what you're saying in the moment can affect that person. And if you watched the Men Tell All episode, I was kind of just talking about, you know, you don't understand what someone could be going through in their life, and for you to say something that could be possibly hurtful is you just don't think about that. And I had to really look back and say, wow, why didn't you go about it like that? So for me to go on Paradise, it was like, okay, I've got to come in on this and be just an absolute. I have to make friends here. I can't be an enemy here, and that's just not who I am. You know, and I don't know. It was tough. It was really tough though.
Yeah. And it's your, you know, honestly, you know, it's your first time. I'm assuming it's your first time on national television, and things are just different, and stakes are higher. And when you do make a mistake, sometimes it gets aired, and that doesn't mean that's who you are as a person.
Okay, that just made me think, you saying all that, Jacob, that makes sense why in the episode we saw, one of the episodes last week, when Kira pulled you to talk, you talked with her for what seemed like a long time.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it was because in the back of your mind, you're like, I need to listen to this girl, have some empathy,
Absolutely.
have some sympathy. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. So that
I
all
think
sounds
you've handled everything
Yeah,
well, too,
yeah.
by the way, in Paradise. I
Yeah.
think you've done a great job.
Appreciate that.
All right, so let's talk about the leaf, right? You come down just wearing a leaf. There's always, I feel like Kenny
I
came
didn't
down
see
in a
that
I didn't even
Speedo.
bring that up.
Kenny came down in a Speedo last season. You come down in a leaf.
Yep.
You know, all the girls are like, wow, who is this guy? What made you make that decision? And just like, I don't know, talk about day one being down on the beach and how you felt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to Kenny. Had to copy his swag a little bit. You know, what's funny is like, I don't take myself seriously whatsoever, as you can tell by the show. And initially, even going into the Bachelorette, I was like, okay, I'm gonna wear a full suit. You know, they got me the horse, and then it's like, hey, we think the best option for you is to go shirtless. And I'm just like, all right. And then the same option was brought upon for Paradise, and I was just like, dang, that's even less clothing. Am I really okay with having everything out there?
Yeah.
It's hard for anybody to do that. And it was challenging, to be honest, like to say, oh my God, my buns are out.
Yeah.
So I just embraced it and, you know, made fun of myself and was having a good old time. So I'm happy I did it.
Good.
And how is, like, day one, how's your relationship with the guys, and what girls are you feeling?
Day one, relationship with the guys, obviously coming in there, you're gonna turn heads with some of the dudes because they're like, oh gosh, this guy, what's his motives? But ultimately, I think I have a good chemistry with most of the gentlemen there. You know, I got Logan and Johnny for my season. I got, I'm meeting Casey and Michael and Andrew and everybody else that pops up a little bit later, Brandon, everybody. But, when I meet the ladies, it's like, okay, who do I have a connection with initially? And, the one thing about going in on this show, I watched the first episode of y'all's season from last year. I didn't really know too much about Paradise. I wasn't looking back at the Bachelorettes from their season. I just wanted to go into this thing just without knowing anybody and just having a fresh start. So I was kind of just mingling, and I had a connection with Shanae for a minute there, and then after that was Kira. We had a great conversation. So I'm kind of between those two, and then later Haley starts to things happen there too, and then lastly was Lace. So I'm kind of bouncing around.
I forgot about
You're bouncing around. So
that.
I was actually shocked. So at least for what we saw on our televisions, I definitely thought you were going to give your rose to Kara, and you gave it to Lace.
Yep.
Can you talk about that decision?
Yeah, sure. So tough decision overall. Between all three of them, I don't want to hurt anybody. And I was kind of the one out, like where I haven't made a full decision on who I'm going to give my rose to. So for all three of them to try to, come at and talk to me and be a little bit more flirtatious, I guess. You were the bachelor in the moment, like that. At that time, you were. Yeah. You were kind of the guy that was on the fence. You had a rose, and you had multiple women vying for your rose. Yeah, and it felt weird. It felt definitely, that's never really happened before. So I was trying to make the best overall decision for who I felt most comfortable with.
Yeah. And
in that particular case, Lace stood out the most. I think it's because she's been there before. She knows what she wants. She also didn't take herself too seriously.
And at that time, from that first rose ceremony, who would you have, in your opinion, spent the most time with? Because, I feel like that's important too.
Who would I spent the most time with prior to the first rose ceremony?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, who had you spent the most time with?
I would probably say I spent the most time with Kira. It was very forward for the first date, at least for myself, and I was just kind of like, ooh, that's, I'm taking it a little bit slower here.
Yeah, but do you think maybe she was more forward because you were, she probably was under the assumption that you are a more forward guy, considering you came down literally only wearing a leaf?
Yeah,
that's also true as well.
Are you slut shaming him? No.
No, but I would think from Kara's point of view, she was probably Jacob's here. He's down. He wants to have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh man, there's a lot of facets to me that people don't know. I'm not just one crazy, goofy kid that just is trying to have fun and live his spring break lifestyle. But I would 100% agree. Me coming down in nothing but a leaf shows that I am a little bit more rambunctious and a little bit more out there. So sorry if I let anybody on, but I do at the same time take things slowly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good to know, because I would have guessed the opposite, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right,
you heard it here first, guys.
Let's fast forward to now. So we see you and Jill hit it off on a date.
Yes. How was that date? Tell us. It seemed like it went great, but being there, tell us.
So that date was very magical, to be honest. Probably, if I had to say it was probably the best date I've ever had.
Really?
We love Jill too.
And best first date I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that and Johnny brings it up in the season. He talks about bring someone on a roller coaster date because it heightens the endorphins, and you remember it a lot easier. I felt that with Jill on that date, because you're getting completely nude with somebody that you barely know. We've been talking for less than a week. And to get into a bathtub with the other person and howl at the moon was completely out there. I think that was a perfect date for both Jill and I. because we're kind of, we're also like very, we're energetic people, if,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to call yourself conservative. So
I think you
All
brought
right.
it out in each other too. Like you both felt
I think so.
comfortable.
Yeah.
okay.
Definitely.
So this is what a lot of people want to know. The show does this new twist where they send all the girls that are on the beach away to bring new girls in.
Mm-hmm.
So Jill, you and Jill are talking at this moment. She has to leave. What's the conversation between you and Jill as far as your relationship goes? Are you open about that you're going to talk to other women? Because we see you talking to Kate.
Sure. It was a complete surprise for us when that happened, when Split Week initiated. And Jill and I had not talked about what would happen if other girls came on the beach. We were so fresh with each other. We had just gotten back from our date. And I'm building this relationship, but it's so new that it's like, okay, if we had, and I know Jill wanted to talk to me since before. She wanted to actually come up to me and say, hey, just know this, like if you're going to go and talk to somebody else, just know I want you to be here for me at the end, which would have probably made things a little bit better for us in terms of everything that's going on throughout the season. I was there again to meet my soulmate. I'm there to meet my person that I can get on one knee at the end. So for me to have fun and to meet people and engage and see who has a connection with myself, I feel like that's how paradise should be. But then again, everybody has their own way. Like Brandon Serene, how they do it is completely authentic. He went in there and he knew right away he wanted to go for Serene. And same for you, Joe, how you did it as well. Like that was, the strategy for me was I didn't know anybody. So I wanted to, check all my boxes.
Did the guys have a chance to talk to the girls before they left? Or no?
Yeah, that's what I was going to,
get to have conversations?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I feel like they just got up and it was kind of abrupt.
Okay, so once
it actually happened like that.
It exactly, like Jesse came in and said bye, and it was like, you guys gotta leave now.
You and Jill did not get to have a conversation before she left the beach.
No, not at all.
Okay, that's also, I didn't know
said
that.
our goodbyes, and that was relatively it.
Okay.
And do you know if anyone during those goodbyes had those conversations or no?
I don't think. I know that, who was it? Genevieve and Aaron, they may have had one moment to say something to each other. He said, hey, everything's going to be all right. Lace, you hear Lace saying that she didn't get a chance to kiss Rodney before. That was kind of a telltale sign. I gave Jill a kiss and a hug, and that's just who I am. I give physical touch for people that I truly like. And I didn't have a chance to tell her, hey, if whatever goes down, we're here to explore. I didn't get a chance to say that. I wish I did though.
Well, yeah, especially if you're not even prepared for that and don't even know if you want to be like, yeah, do your thing or not.
Complete surprise.
Okay, so then from what we're seeing, you and Kate seem to really be hitting it off. You're making out all over the place. You both seem to be really attracted to each other. Are you kind of like, I'm on to the next one?
In a sense, kind of. You can plainly see it. And is Kate the best person for me ultimately? Tune in to find out. But she's fun.
Were you and the other guys, you guys get a whole new group of women. The women get sent away. Did you guys figure out obviously there's going to be guys for these women, or were you just not thinking that?
I thought in the back of my head, I'm like, there's no way they're going to take these 5 beautiful girls away and let them just sit there and, like they said, rot away by themselves while we're having the time of our life. That just doesn't make any sense. So for me, I wanted Jill
rot away in a 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
In AC.
Getting back
We're rotting away over here.
Yeah. Hey, that's their words, not mine. But
yeah.
No.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, I was thinking to myself, okay, there's got to be some dudes that are coming in. My boy Tyler is going to be coming in. So it's bound to happen. I just hope that they have the full paradise, life that they can live in that moment, just like we did. And for the guys who were in a super strong relationship, nothing against them. They still gave the girls the time of day in a lot of ways.
Right. They still talk to them. So when the women first came out, or the first conversations that you guys had, was there anyone else that you were interested in besides Kate when you first saw them?
Well, a little bit with Eliza, but Eliza was immediately with Rodney, so nothing I could do there. And then also Sarah a little bit, but then as you can tell, Logan is having a connection with her, and then Jasenia was also she's amazing as well. I actually talked to her, I think, around the hot tub too, and we didn't have no physical connection, but just like a really good conversation. And so again, it's like you just kind of see who's really vibing with you the most.
So you talk to, and that's again what we don't necessarily see as viewers. We don't see everyone talking to everyone. So that's good insight that you did have multiple conversations with multiple people, but clearly you sparked the most with Kate.
Yes, I had the most physical intimacy with Kate. Is everybody
okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna play a game. But before we do, we want to just talk about the last thing we all see as viewers is Lace come down looking for Rodney. All the guys are like, oh, I don't know where Rodney is. Oh, Rodney who?
Everyone got amnesia. They were
what?
The boys are like, nah, I don't know where he's at.
All right.
Rodney, is there? Who is Rodney?
Explain. Can you get into that a little bit? Just what you guys are thinking, how Lace is acting. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So as soon as we see Lace coming down the stairs, it was like we're all just in shock. We've seen a ghost, and love Lace to death. Gave Lace my rose. So, special place in my heart for her. But I felt so bad when she had to come down there. And then, no joke, 5 minutes later, Rodney is grinning from ear to ear.
Oh, it was literally 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was 5 freaking minutes.
Oh.
And that was just the most brutal point because she's sitting there almost crying. And you can tell Brandon didn't want to Brandon's asking about Serene.
Yeah.
Oh, he's trying to change the subject. He tried.
He tried to, and look, the boys don't want to just say oh, I don't know how he's doing, because we ultimately don't know how the date's going.
Yeah.
Right. It could have went awful.
Could have went bad. We don't know.
Yeah.
So it was okay, what were we supposed to say to you? You're coming down here heated, asking us all these questions. We're supposed to just tell you, oh, it looked like they had a great old time before. It's just not like that. We got to be.
Right.
We got to be respectful, and nobody's trying to be ratting out Rodney or anything like that. But, it's a tough moment. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, very tough.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see what happens next week.
I know, I'm a little scared.
Can you tease what happens next week and or the rest of the season for us?
Oh, wow. Tease. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of plot twists.
Good.
A lot of changes.
Still? Damn.
All my friends are asking me do these people break up? Do they stay together? I hope they stay together. And I'm just I can't tell you that because it's a wild turn of events, to be honest. And Paradise, I got to see it firsthand. The crazy drama happened all of a sudden. So we have last week, we had Peter come on the beach. And, again, Peter is very eccentric. Italian guy, he's talking crap to everybody. So we were okay, we got to kick this guy off the beach. He's being an asshole. And I brought the boys over and I was like, hey man, it's time to go. And before all that, Casey had literally passed out on the floor and broke his ankle. And we're all just, and I'm watching this what the heck is going on? Well, Jill and Brittany are yelling at Peter. And I'm this is insane. I'm just sitting there I'm sitting there oh my God. Yeah. And then 10 minutes later, we kick Peter off the beach and he runs upstairs and he says, "Buongiorno, bitches." And I'm sitting there what the fuck is going on?
I was crying laughing when you were like, that means good morning.
Yeah.
I know a little bit of Italian. I was just like, oh my
I
God.
was dying.
This dude is insane. So I was just like, this was like my moment of like, oh, I'm on reality TV. I am seeing it first.
And you witnessed it all. Some stuff goes down, you don't even know what's happening until
Yeah.
you watch it back. You're like, what the heck?
All right, Jacob, you want to play a quick game with us? It's rapid fire, so first thing that comes to your head.
Oh shoot, I'm not good at
Yeah,
these.
it's rapid fire. And also remember, anyone that you talk about, make sure that we've already seen them on the beach. Okay?
Okay, copy.
So
Yep.
no new people that we haven't seen come out.
Okay.
All right?
Sounds good.
Okay, rapid fire. Here we go. First thing that comes to mind. Biggest flirt.
Oh, biggest flirt? I told you I'm not good at being put on the spot. Gosh. Probably me.
Oh, okay.
I'm a flirt initially. I definitely am a flirt for sure.
Okay. Most dramatic.
Most dramatic? I mean, I have to go to my girl Jill.
Checks out.
Life of the party.
Life of the party, probably Aaron.
Ah.
Yeah.
Most likely to be found sleeping on a daybed.
Oh shit, Brandon and Shireen. We all know that one.
The most surprising hookup that has happened thus far.
Oh shoot, most surprising hookup that's happened so far. I mean, I'll be honest, it's probably Kate and myself. It's pretty, surprising. I think. I don't know. I can't think. What do you?
Well, Rodney and Lace is what everyone said, or not everyone.
Yeah.
I think that's what Jill said.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't
right?
even think.
I think a lot of people, at least like on Twitter, are like Rodney and Lace. Where'd this come from? Kind of.
Sure, and I think that you could say myself and Lace and Rodney and Lace as well was probably like, whoa, it's interesting dynamic duo.
Yeah. Okay. Best dress on the beach.
Ooh, best dress. I mean, again, it's probably Brittany or probably Brandon again. Brandon's got some swagger.
Biggest glow up from their season.
Oh shoot, from their last season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I looked at an old picture of Michael without facial hair, and dude, I mean, he looks really good. He looks like he's the Bachelor, you know, like he's just.
We like the beard. Yes, we like the beard. I agree. Mm-hmm. That's funny. Okay, who's the biggest gossip on the beach?
Oh, biggest gossip, man. Oh man. Let's see. Genevieve, maybe. I can hate that I said that though.
Yeah. Biggest WTF moment of Paradise so far. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but
I mean, biggest WTF was like I said, Casey passing out while.
Oh.
I mean, well, shoot. I mean.
Yeah. No. That's right.
A big one. That's a huge. I mean, for that to happen and the ambulance to show up and him to literally pass out from just being so like upset and frightened about what's going to happen. That's.
Do you think it was
crazy.
that? It wasn't the heat? You don't think it was heat?
I would say that's a factor. Yeah.
Well, yeah. If you're stressed, so
but
then you're
ultimately,
sweating and.
He was talking about it, saying, "I'm just getting like so like flustered in a lot of ways that I had to tell Brittany," because he told her out of confidence because he's probably trying to get a rose, and he's trying to tell her, say like, "Hey, between you and me, you know, this guy's talking crap about you, but I just want you to know because I feel for you." And he didn't want it to go into this huge scuffle where everybody's talking crap, and so that's where he just got like, you know. And then again, probably the heat and the humidity all played a factor.
Wow.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
Most likely to get married.
Aaron and Genevieve look like they're most likely to get married.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Get engaged.
Nice. Okay. Thank you so much.
I'm worried. I'm worried about the rest of the season.
Uh-huh.
You guys got a lot left.
Okay, Jacob, one more question because I have to know, what were you staring at or thinking about when you were staring off into space? And Victoria was commenting on.
Yeah.
your
Well,
vibe.
it's just like, I mean, he gave me this really strong drink, and I was like, looking out. No, I mean, yeah, definitely taking a second just to like calm my nerves too, and probably just sitting there. And I think to be perfectly honest, what I actually was staring at was, this is so stupid. There's like two groups of ants crawling on the ground, and one of the ants was bigger and it was moving very slow. And then the other group of ants were like this small, like super small, and they're flying. And I'm just like, this is insane.
I mean, you look like you were doing nuclear physics in your head.
You need some source of entertainment out there. So
Honestly,
it's ants.
You've made me laugh more than anyone else. That's for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, that's who I am.
Oh my gosh,
That's so funny. Okay.
Well,
All
thanks,
right.
guys.
Well, it was the ants, guys. Mm-hmm.
It was the ant.
the ants.
Well,
Yeah.
Jacob, thank you so much. It was really nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else happens with you the rest of the season.
Oh my God. I know, right? We'll see what happens. Thanks guys for having me on. Appreciate it.
All right.
Of
Have a
course.
good one.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, the ants.
Is he serious?
That makes sense. Though.
I get it though, you know.
No,
You're
that makes
kinda
sense.
just like,
That makes sense.
Well, when he went from mouth closed to mouth open, it was just like, oh, did he figure something out?
Yeah, no, that
shit.
really that makes sense. It was just like his posture and all of it, you know. Yeah.
well, they zoomed in on his face, like.
Oh yeah.
usually. I like him though. I think he's a really nice guy.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, he
don't know how
has
it's gonna-
more depth than being naked, so we know
Yeah,
that.
I don't know how it's
Exactly.
going to end up for him, but I like him. I think he's a nice guy.
Thank you so much to our listeners, and make sure to catch new episodes of Bachelor in Paradise every Monday and Tuesday on ABC or Hulu.
Yes, and as always, make sure to subscribe and submit all your burning questions. We want to know what clickbait you want us to get into, what Bachelor Nation headlines you want us to break down. Make sure to follow us at ClickbaitBN on Instagram. All the links to all our socials are on that page.
And share your stories with us. We want to know what clickbait you guys are looking at this week. Clickbait is available on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you guys listen. You can listen ad-free by subscribing to Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app. We will see you guys next week for more crazy VIP.
Bye.